A portion of this video is sponsored by Squarespace. Hey, welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at the Pixel 7 and comparing it to the outgoing Pixel 6. Basically, I wanted to see what the biggest differences are between these two devices, but most importantly, see if the cameras have improved at all, and hopefully help you figure out whether the Pixel 7 is worth the upgrade or if you should save your money instead and get the Pixel 6. Okay, so let's talk about hardware first on these two devices. The Pixel 6 and the Pixel 7 looks very similar in terms of design, with a couple of changes on the colors, the overall size, and a change of material used on the camera bar. Now, one of the biggest changes here with these two phones are the processors. You're getting the Google Tensor G2 on the Pixel 7, which is able to run faster and more efficient than the original Google Tensor chip on the Pixel 6. But you're getting the same amount of storage and RAM, which is 8 gigs of RAM and up to 256 gigs of storage. As for the battery, the Pixel 6 actually has a bigger battery at 4614 milliamp hour battery, while the Pixel 7 packs a smaller 4355 milliamp hour battery. Now, given that the Tensor G2 is more efficient, battery life is pretty much the same on both of these devices. I can easily drain both of these phones by 11 p.m. or midnight, and I'd have to charge these phones overnight if I need to get up early and use the phone again. As for the cameras, both phones are actually equipped with the same camera hardware with a 50 megapixel main wide camera and a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. The only thing that Google changed in terms of the hardware is the camera up front, which is now using an upgraded 10.8 megapixel front-facing camera that's just a little bit wider versus the 8 megapixel camera on the Pixel 6. Now, the front-facing camera with the new G2 processor also enables Face Unlock on the Pixel 7, which isn't as secure as the Face Unlock on the Pixel 4 XL, but it does make authenticating the phone a lot quicker so you can get to the home screen faster. And even without the Face Unlock here, the fingerprint reader on the Pixel 7, in my opinion, is noticeably faster than the one on the Pixel 6, which a lot of people complained about. And speaking of the front of these phones, the Pixel 7 is actually 0.1 inch smaller than the Pixel 6, so the display size is now 6.3 inches versus the 6.4 inches on the Pixel 6. Now, I really like the smaller bezel and, the slightly smaller form factor on the Pixel 7. It makes the phone a little bit more compact, and the weight distribution is a lot better on the Pixel 7 too. It's not as top heavy as the Pixel 6, which always felt like the camera bar was weighing the phone down from the top. But besides that, the Pixel 7 also now features a 25% brighter OLED screen. So you're getting up to 1400 nits of brightness, which is really noticeable outdoors. Now, both phones still feature 90 Hz refresh rate, which honestly is more than fine at this price point. There are other phones in the market that are around this price point and, still use a 60 Hz display. So, 90 Hz is solid. And just to touch on the processors again, the Tensor G2 on paper might sound like it'll be a lot faster than the original Tensor on the Pixel 6, but when you put these two phones head to head and run Geekbench 5, you'll notice that you're only really getting 13 to maybe 14% increase in its multi-core scores. And in everyday scenarios, you're really not going to notice a huge improvement in performance here. All of the games that I played ran fine on both of these phones with little to no lag or app crashes, although I did notice that the Pixel 7 was not running as warm as the Pixel 6. But yeah, even with a newer GPU on the Pixel 7 and the Tensor G2, there wasn't a huge jump in performance here. Now, behind the scenes though, the Tensor G2 processor is actually running machine learning tasks up to 60% faster and 20% more efficient than last year's chip. But besides that, the ISP, or the image signal processor on the chip, got an update too with better video processing that allows you to shoot 10-bit HDR, 4K 60 on all cameras, and that includes the front-facing camera. The G2 also improves processing night sight and astrophotography photos, as well as a slightly enhanced photo processing to its normal daylight photos. Now, before we talk about the cameras on both of these phones, I just want to quickly thank my friends at Squarespace who sponsored a portion of this video. If you've been wanting to build a beautiful website but don't know where to start, my friends at Squarespace can for sure help you with that. I partnered up with Squarespace after years of using their service so that I can have a premium looking website where people can see, some of the work that I've done in the past, but it's also a way for brands or clients to reach out and work with me. What's cool about Squarespace is that you can build a website from scratch or use Squarespace's amazing selection of templates. If you're a photographer, they have templates made specifically for photographers, or maybe you want to set up an online store, they've got you covered. Designing your website is super easy, and you don't need to know how to code, which is probably the best part of using Squarespace. But another great feature is that Squarespace will automatically resize your website to be more mobile friendly. So having my website automatically optimized for mobile is a really great feature. If you've been wanting to build your dream website, make sure to check out the first link down below and check out Squarespace. You can get a free trial and 10% off by using the first link in the description, or go to squarespace.com/Markel. Again, special thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring a portion of this video. Alright, now when it comes to the cameras on both of these phones, the Tensor G2 theoretically should give the Pixel 7 an upper hand when it comes to, processing these photos. And to be honest, side by side, it's not a huge difference for the main and ultra-wide camera. Looking at the photos on my computer, I could probably only notice an improvement in, color accuracy, white balance, and maybe how the HDR is being processed in some of these shots, but it's not a drastic improvement over the Pixel 6, where I could tell that the Pixel 7 shoots way better photos than last year's phone. Now, you're still going to get incredible photos out of these two phones. However, with the Pixel 7 and the Tensor G2, I did notice that when you're using the 2x digital zoom, there is a slight bump in quality in my opinion. Shots just look slightly cleaner with less noise in the shadows, and it's just a little bit sharper than what I had gotten with the Pixel 6. Besides that though, the Pixel 7 will also give you, photo unblur, which is their new software feature to unblur any photo you process using a Pixel 7 phone. And I'm not sure how exclusive this will be for the Pixel 7 and whether or not this is going to make it to the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro as well. But for now, you can only use photo unblur with the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. Now, when it comes to video, you're actually getting a couple of things here that's better on the Pixel 7. You're getting 10-bit HDR, 4K 60 on all the cameras, including the front-facing camera, which is definitely nice to see. And of course, you're getting cinematic blur, which can give you portrait mode like videos, but just keep in mind that this is capped at 1080p at 24 frames per second, which isn't terrible. You can still get beautiful looking shots, but like I said in my Pixel 7 Pro review, I would have loved to have a 4K option here so I can get a little bit more detail in my shots and so that I can reframe my shots in post. But for a first gen feature, it's not bad, and I can't wait to see how they can improve this feature next year. But yeah, that's about it for the Pixel 7 and the Pixel 6. Both phones are very similar, and I think that the Pixel 7 has enough improvements to sway you away from, the more affordable Pixel 6. I think Google did a great job improving upon the Pixel 6 with this new phone. And, if you want a slightly smaller phone with a faster fingerprint reader with Face Unlock, and you want a brighter display that you can use outside, and new camera features like photo unblur or cinematic blur, then by all means go with the Pixel 7. Now, I personally never had modem issues or overheating issues with the Pixel 6, especially after the updates it's gotten, but that doesn't mean it's not there and it won't happen to you. When I dailied the Pixel 6 last year, I had a lot of fun with the phone, and the camera was really my only reason to use it. And like I said, my experience was a lot different from 90% of the people online. I actually enjoyed using the Pixel 6. Now, you can find the Pixel 6 for like $300 to $350 used or refurbished online, whereas the Pixel 7 starts at $600. Now, whether you want to shell out, another $300 for those features that I talked about earlier is up to you. Either ways, both phones are really good for its price. You'll get priority updates to major Android software updates. You're also getting monthly security updates and some Pixel exclusive features like call screening, Google Assistant voice typing, Magic Eraser, quick phrases, and a lot more Pixel exclusive features. Anyways, that's been it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you all next year.